Hi, if you're here, you're meant to be here. I'm Jamie Roddy, and this is Staying Aligned, a movement for living consciously and staying aligned. There's this quiet belief that I feel most people are carrying, and that is that there's a better age to be. And I just don't think that that's true. Okay, this episode was inspired by two things. One, that song by Rye, which is an immaculate song. If you guys have not heard it, as soon as we're done here, play it. Raye, baby, where the hell's my husband? This is a woman going on and on with tremendous vocal capacity, orchestral background. I mean, the song is 10 out of 10, but she's going on and on about where's my husband? What the heck's taking him so long? I'm sorry, I don't sing well, but I do it often. And so I was inspired by that. But at the same time, I saw this quote or something the other day that was like kind of my stage of life. It says, when you're nearing 50, yes, that's happening. And I'm here for it because it said, when you're nearing 50, it's a really cool stage because you're the oldest of the youngs. But then as soon as you hit 50, you're the youngest of the olds. And I'm like here for both of those. So it's been on my mind lately. Also, I was in a room the other day with a bunch of women my age or maybe just a little bit older. And it was honestly a bummer. It was like a bitch sesh about how things used to be, how perky their asses used to be, how strong they used to be. And I just think that people don't realize that the phase of life that they're in has pros and cons, and each one of them is like completely and totally valid and perfect. So, my goal is at the end of this particular episode, you feel really good about your age, where you're at, where you've been, where you might be going, but not rushing it and not wishing you could go back. So, let's get into it. Now, in our Sand community, the the major crux of everything that we're talking about is to make us feel better, but to that end, it's really just to keep us aligned with God's love, universal love, light source, the creator, whatever you want to call it, the field of peace and potentiality, if you will, whatever you want to call it. We certainly don't subscribe into any kind of dogma or any kind of patriarchal institutions. We extract the wisdom of the ages globally, historically, and we give it real life application. So, to that end, we might be wondering, like, what have the sages throughout time said? And they have all said exactly what we're talking about. To every season, turn, turn, turn. There is a reason. You know, there's songs too, obviously, plenty of them. But, like, specifically, the different religions all have some sort of scripture about this. In the Hindu ashrama system, life is divided into 4 stages: student, householder, forest dweller, and renunciate, each with its own purpose and dignity. Hear that. Each with its own purpose and dignity. Psychologically, in modern psychology, there's something called the child development theory. And that says that each stage of child cognitive development has its own abilities that can't be rushed or even replicated later. Like some of those I remember learning in school. I was a cultural anthropology major. Turns out it's very important and super useful later on. It actually is, but that's a fully aside. It helps me. I will say that cultural anthropology helped me fully understand that everybody comes from a different perspective and like to relish those. So in child cognitive psychology, there's certain specific phases of their development. The phase when all kids between the ages of like 11 and 14, they think everybody's thinking about them. They are so embarrassed to be around their parents in public because they honestly think that people are thinking about them. And this is just a stage of development. So if you wanted to learn a little bit about that, if you're a parent or know any Children, this is a great thing to study because it helps you be a little more empathetic to what they're going through. For different philosophies, our friends, the Stoics, often said each stage offers different lessons in virtue. And aging offers clarity, perspective, and less attachment. I can certainly say that that's true. The person I was at 28, 38, and 48 are totally different. Personally, I'm excited for 58, but I'm not rushing towards it. I'm just really enjoying what 48 has to offer. No matter the religion or the philosophy, as we like to say here, all rivers flow to the same ocean. And that ocean specifically resonates with gratitude and present for the era that we're in right now. Life is seasonal, it's not linear. Each stage has specific advantages. Trying to rush or skip phases causes misalignment. Sure, later stages bring meaning, clarity, depth, calm, emotional resilience. But the earlier stages bring energy, exploration, possibility, fulfillment, and alignment can really only come with acceptance of your current phase. So let's break it down into the different eras. So you're going to find your era in here. And if this resonates with you at all, please like and subscribe only for the reason that it might help somebody else. That's how the algorithm knows to push it out to people. And if you find this at all helpful, somebody else might find helpful too. Basically, you're going to make somebody's day better. So that's pretty awesome. Also, join us at stayingaligned.org. We've got a whole community that's becoming more and more robust every day. And we offer tools. We have a resource library. We've got community. We've got support. And we're just adding more spiritual alignment, goodness all the time. Cannot wait to see you there. So let's get into the different phases of life. Phase 1, the little nuggets, 0 to 20. They've got pluses, they've got minuses. Each section of life, each phase of life has its own gems and its own turds. All right. So when you're a kid, you've got incredible neuroplasticity. You're basically an empty treasure box just waiting to be filled with scholastic goodness, artistic goodness, linguistic goodness, physical goodness. Everything is just getting wired. It's a tremendous blank slate through which the canvas is just begging for any kind of artistic materials to get in there, and it all is getting wired in. They're working on their immune system, so they get sick easily, but they get well very quickly. Also, they heal. They heal so quickly. For anybody watching this over 40, do you guys remember when your back didn't hurt? Yeah. Yeah. But do you remember also when you threw tantrums at the drop of a hat and everything was so hard? It's a trade-off, right? And of course, 0 to 20, you experience the highest energy levels you will ever have. And that's incredible and it's amazing. And it's one of the gems. But one of the turns of that phase is your prefrontal cortex almost non-existent. It is fully not formed. So you make terrible decisions. And this is why 0 to 20 generally has people watching over them. They cannot be left to their own decisions. And also their emotional regulation is garbage. Like, that's why they're children. They're going to fly off the handle. They are going to have a tantrum. A teenage or toddler, they're gonna have tantrums. And any kind of emotional dysregulation takes them longer. But physical dysregulation, much faster. So then we get into 20 to 35. Now, this is a pretty fun area. A lot of people think of this as like, oh, I wish it was like that back then. And I never have. In my 20s, they were epic. Good Lord, they were fun. I lived in first in a beach community, and then I moved to West Hollywood, Los Angeles, where I was going to clubs. I look cute as hell with all my cute as hell girlfriends. You don't even have to like work out or eat right. Like you're terrible. You're putting terrible things in your body and you still look great. And you don't even have to think about it. And do I want to go back to that time? No, I was so poor and everything was hard emotionally. Like they say your emotional regulation doesn't fully form until you're like 27 or so. It's late 20s before you are fully like emotionally regulated. And I fully remember like how hard life was. It just seemed like every inconvenience was like, ugh. I remember one time I got so upset because I asked my friend, "Do you want to go to this event?" And she said, "That sounds like fun." She texted it, right? That sounds like fun. So the day of the event, I get ready and do all the things, hot girl 20s style. And I'm like, "Hey, when are you going to come?" She said, I didn't say I would go. I said, "That looks like fun." I was like, are you absolutely kidding me? And I was so mad I didn't talk to her for like a month. And I just wouldn't care now. I'd just go myself now. Do you know what I mean? The emotional regulation of that time period is so trying. And also it's like the poorest time of your life. You have no support. It's like terrifying. You look good, but you feel terrible. You're full of optimism and hope, and that's beautiful. But everything is really scary and you barely pay your rent. You have like old towels. You probably live with 3 roommates at any given time. Like one of them is the villain. It's a really hard time in life. And so it always astounds me when women or men over 40 or 50 are like, "Oh, I wish I could go back to then." Like, not me, man. I need nice things now. I need to be calm. I need my quality meditation practice. I need to be drinking green smoothies and healthy salads, not fast food junk. Like, there's no way I would go back to that. But it was fun when it happened. Absolutely. And if you're in that phase right now, you will not be poor forever. Everything will not be so hard. You are going to be so much more chill when you get a little bit older. Them's is facts. This is part of the beauty of being older, and I can't wait to be one of those grandmas that does not give a flip. Now, does that mean that I'm discounting this time period that I'm in right now? No, I think this time period is fantastic. I'm still incredibly mobile, but I'm getting to the point where I give absolute gratitude for any day that I don't have any kind of like shoulder pain or back pain or, I keep myself physically fit knowing that if I do not, there will be repercussions because of the age that I'm in. So to sum up all of that delicious rambling, 20 to 35 is kind of a peak performance phase. You've got muscle mass, strength, endurance is near maximum. And that's gorgeous and fun. So if you're in that phase of your life right now, enjoy it. Oh my God. I remember this one time, Tina Fey was talking about Britney Spears. This was like 20 years ago. This is when Britney was very popular and not given to the shenanigans that you might know her for if you're younger. Tina Fey said, "Oh, Britney, if I had that ass, I would just appreciate it. I would I would massage it with fine lanolin oils every night." And it's just like be appreciative for what you have now. It's delicious, it's wonderful, and it won't last forever. You guys have muscle mass, strength, endurance near maximum. You have fast reaction times. You are at your fertility peak. Your brain efficiency and your working memory are all peak max right now. But you also have biological limitations 20 to 35. You're still developing long-term emotional regulation, early 20s especially. Your stress response can be intense. You've got these cortisol spikes that happen with ambition and with pressure. So you're built for action. building, risk taking, and reproduction, but not quite yet for emotional stability, which is what comes with inner peace. For long term planning, you're not quite there yet, but you're gonna be. All right? You're gonna be. And while you're in this phase, be appreciative of it. Now, my 35 to 50s. Hey. So this is where I'm barely still at. And like I said earlier, I'm like the oldest of the youngs. We have tremendous biological advantages. Peak emotional regulation. Our nervous systems are so much more stable than the youngsters. Our pattern recognition and decision making improve. Basically, this has to do somewhat with wisdom as well. We've done things many more times. Things are just easier for us. It's tougher in your 20s and early 30s because most things are new. You're as an adult, you're still like adulting is hard because it's all still new. By this age, we've been around the block, we've been adulting for a while. So that's less emotional collateral, chaotic overwhelm potentiality for us, thankfully. We've also learned how to better stress navigate. Without your brain being fully developed in your early 20s, you can't understand that if you don't drink water, if you don't exercise, and if you don't get enough sleep, it doesn't really clock that your life sucks worse. But after you've lived as an adult for 15 to 30 years, you know exactly why you didn't get good sleep last night. You know exactly why you feel a little off today. And so you can make better choices. We also have more efficient energy usage. We have less burnout because the 20 to 35s, they'll go, 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 go. And then they have burnout because they don't have that impulse control that we have. And that comes with experience. And it's beautiful. So we're more efficiently using our energy because we're long term planning for all the things that we're doing, whether it be a day, long term planning for my day, for my week, or for several years. Now, we do have biological limitations, obviously. Our muscle mass starts decreasing. Okay, listen to me now and hear me later. This is a real fact 1% per year without any intervention. So if you don't lift weights, if you are not exercising, you are going to lose, on average, 1% of body mass per year. So wherever you're at 25, you are going to have 25% less muscle mass by the time you're 50. And I don't even want to think about if you have a sedentary lifestyle, if you're not exercising, 25 to say 75. So if you're watching this now and you're 30 and you're like, maybe I should start exercising because you've been in your 20s and you're just gorgeous all the time and everything's firm and fit and you have plenty of energy. If you keep on that same path, when you're 80, you'll have 50% less strength and muscle mass. That's like a terrifying thought to me. We also have slower recovery. When we like pull our back or something, it does take a little bit longer. We also have hormone shifts. This is the time, especially in the 40s. Men and women are both now getting so much more savvy about keeping the hormones in check. If you are watching this and you are a woman who is over 40 and you have been feeling tired, off, not quite yourself, irritable, boo, it is your hormones. Just trust, go get them fixed. They start to decline. But because of our wisdom, we can get ahead of that now. And we are not taking the sitting down anymore. I don't know how our mothers did it and our grandmothers without the medical assistance that we can get now. It's really, really beautiful how we can keep our hormonal levels the same as our 20-year-old friends So check into that. I personally went through something super tremendous. It was really, really difficult. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. My whole life is falling apart. And my friend is a spiritual counselor. And so I was asking her for some help. And she says, wait, how old are you? She goes, it's your hormones. Go get them checked. She was right. She was right across the board. I was there to like have her help me get in touch with my higher self and get some answers. She's just like, no, girl, hormones. Also, biological limitations are that we have like an increased inflammation risk if our lifestyle is off. But at this point, with our cognitive advancement, we know, even if we're not doing it, we know why it's off. We know why this is still hurting. It's most likely related to a multitude of lifestyle choices, and whether or not we're admitting it to ourselves, we know. Now, let's get into the 50 to 75s, the longevity and wisdom phase. These people have incredible emotional stability and perspective. There is a factoid that I absolutely love, and that is that some species live well past reproductive age. Beluga whales, killer whales, chimpanzees. But there's a reason for that. Animals such as humans and killer whales are community-based animals. So our merit as humans has to do with our wisdom. And you get this after 50. You're no longer reproductive for the most part, but you offer so much wisdom to the community, to our society, that you're so extremely valid and important at this time. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but my two favorite types of people are under 17 and over 75. Like, I love old people. I love young people for different reasons, but most of them don't give a flip. That's probably one of my favorite reasons for both of them. But when you're over 50 into your 70s, you have like really strong crystallized intelligence. Your wisdom fully peaks. You have a better prioritization of meaningful relationships. You have reduced reactivity all across the board. The amygdala, which is the fight or flight little button in the brain, calms way the heck down over 50. And very often, in very well documented research, you have higher life satisfaction. I, for one, am very much looking forward to this phase. Clearly, there is biological limitations with this age group. You've got your hormones that are declining, which I hope I can keep them in check with modern medicine. You've got loss of muscle mass and bone density, which we now know that it's very important to have your protein and lift your weights to keep those things going. We do have slower cellular repair, so we got to take it a little easier. But at 70, I'm going to be ready to take it a little easy anyways, right? And also the cognitive processing speed does decline, but not the wisdom. The wisdom is peak, and wisdom is what you learned through experience, and now it's become a part of you. So think about whatever age you are right now, think about everything that you've learned in the last 10 years and how different you are than 10 years ago, and how you would never make some of those same choices or mistakes again. Now think about 30 years in the future. You're going to be so much more wiser, so much better at life. Every era has its gems. So let's talk about our 75 plus homies. This is sort of like your preservation and legacy phase. You are deeply emotionally regulated. I mean, calm. I love thinking about this. Like, how much did we love grandma? Right? Or grandpa. And then we say that to mom or dad, and they're like, well, they weren't like that when I was a kid. No, when you were a kid, they were in their 30s. They were still spiking their cortisol. They were still not having the wisdom to not blow up at things. They didn't have the emotional regulation that grandma at 75 has. Grandma and grandpa, chill. kill after 75. Their perspective and long view thinking at the highest levels. They have 75 years plus of perspective to draw on. They have a strong capacity for reflection, storytelling, and they have a drastically reduced stress response to trivial things. They do not give a flip. And I love them for it. I mean, obviously, you've got some biological limitations there too, significant decline in physical strength, your higher frailty risk, cognitive slowing, but not wisdom slowing. Wisdom's still growing. There's a greater dependence on support systems. So that treasure box of old age isn't without its gems or its turds, just like every single era. So the major takeaway from here is you're not losing things as you get older. You're trading them. And you're not missing out on anything if you're young right now. That phase will come. Enjoy the phase that you're in right now. Like for me, there's no such thing as being in your prime, unless we can say that for every era. I'm in my prime right now. I was in my prime at 28. I'm going to be in my prime at 79. Shoo. We've been lied to about age because every phase of life has something that the others can't access. There's a version of you that your future self will miss and probably wish they appreciated more. Every era, you're in your prime. That's the POV. Let's anchor this in a meditation. All right, friends, we're going to relax after that. We have earned it. Let's anchor our feet on the ground if at all possible. If you're driving or on a treadmill, just listen with your mind open and let's breathe together. Everybody breathe in, holding it a little at the top, and then breathe out. Relaxing from the top of the head. We're going to breathe in through the nose. Hold it and breathe out, relaxing down the shoulders. As we continue to breathe in, hold and breathe out through the mouth at our own cadence. We're going to be feeling a white light in the center of our chest. And it's getting bigger. It's encompassing our shoulders, our arms, and our solar plexus. And as we focus on this white light growing stronger, we feel all the stress melt away, and we're probably sitting up a little taller now. It's like we can feel the energy pouring out of this area of our body. And as we continue to breathe through the nose, holding a little, exhaling, the white light is growing bigger and bigger. And this is your heart expanding in love for the day you have right now. As we breathe in, we're thankful for everything we've learned so far. As we breathe out, it feels so good to know what we know right now. It feels so good having ears to hear this or eyes to watch this. It feels so good being able to sit up if we are. And as we go through our day, we're going to feel really great about everything that's happened and everything that's happening. No longer will we pine for years long gone, nor eagerly await the future while putting our present on hold. This, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, write it on your heart that this is the best day of the whole year. And I want to encourage you to write it on your heart that this can be the best year of your whole life. And as you breathe in gratitude, and as you breathe out regrets or pining, you can feel this in your heart. It feels really good that this, starting today, can be the best year of your entire life. That feels aligned. That feels like God's love. That feels like universal love, light, energy coursing through your heart in gratitude for this perfect present moment, for this beginning of the best year of your entire life. Alignment is always available to you. I'll see you next Sunday.